Hi, I'm Mark Hummel. I hope you're enjoying the Harmonica Party and the other content that we post on our channel. Check out our Patreon page and join us for exclusive content, early releases of episodes, and some rewards specifically for our Patreon friends. Thanks for helping us keep the blues alive. All right, welcome everyone. My name is Mark Hummel. This is Mark Hummel's Harmonica Party, and we are with my friend Oscar Wilson and my friend Billy Flynn. And we're going to do an interview with Oscar today on Mark Hummel's Harmonica Party, but we want to start it off with a song since we got these great musicians in California. So take it away.
So long. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, I wish I had. Whoa, my baby in my arms. Whoa, I wish I had. Been gone so long, she been gone so long, I won't be home. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now cut up a while, y'all. Play it a while. I'm coming home. Well, I ain't gonna tell my baby. Well, Felicia, I'm coming home. I've been gone so long. I've been gone so long. I'm coming home. Whoa, whoa.
And you're naming who you're coming home to. I know.
It's my baby.
All right. How about it for Billy Flynn right there? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, folks, that was Oscar Wilson singing the hell out of some real Chicago blues there. And Oscar is with a band called the Cashbox Kings, and they just won the Blues Blast Award for Best Traditional Blues Band. And Oscar was on the front of Blues Blast magazine. Was that the day after your birthday?
Yes, I think so.
I think it was, yeah. And Oscar, let's go back in time and talk about, how you got into the blues. And I mean, you got quite an interesting story about your father was a blues singer.
Yeah.
But you didn't know your father.
No, he passed 2 months before I was born.
Right. But your father had friends that you got a chance to kind of learn the blues from?
Well, it's not that I learned the blues from him, but my mother would have fish fries. And various guys would come over. I didn't know they were famous then.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew they were there.
Yeah.
I was maybe, I far back as I can remember, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
And a lot of them would come over on a Friday. You know.
So your mom knew them from your dad? Was that the deal?
Yeah, my mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so some of the people you mentioned to me were like Big Smokey Smothers.
Oh yeah, he
from
was
Chicago.
Yeah, Smokey was the man, the ice cream man.
Right, and he's one of my favorites
too.
Yes,
he was. We were real poor, and he had this ice cream wagon that he pedaled around.
Right.
And when we had ice cream, my mother made it more or less. But Smokey would come around his wagon. He would give us all ice cream, which he is the father of my nephew Racine Wilson. Mm-hmm. I think Ray is his oldest child, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, he was somebody that did your dad play with him at all?
I have the slightest idea who he played with.
He definitely played with Howling Wolf, right? He was in his band.
No.
I thought he was in Wolf's band.
No. I didn't say that. I never said that. I said Henry Gray was the only person that I met that remembered my father.
Oh, okay.
And Henry was in Howling Wolf's band.
Right.
Yeah.
But I thought Smokey played on some Wolf sessions or something.
Oh, you talking about Smokey?
Smokey.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? I'm getting it confused, aren't I? That's Little Smokey.
No, Big Smokey played on a lot of chess songs. He was one of the studio musicians, if I'm not mistaken.
Big Smokey played with him? Okay, because I thought Little Smokey as well played with him. We're talking about two brothers.
I don't know anything about Little Smokey. I don't know Big Smokey.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll ask Billy Flynn or Dick Sherman.
Dick Sherman would know.
They'll know the story on that no matter what. And then the other guy you told me about that you said you met early on was Honey Boy Edwards.
Yeah.
And you said you called him, you didn't call him Honey Boy, you called him...
Listen.
Honey Man?
Let me explain to you, Mark. See, when we come up, I went to school with Honey Boy Edwards, as everybody called him, daughter Betty. Mm-hmm. We went to school together. He was always in the neighborhood playing house parties and things. But when I grew up, we grew up to respect our adults. We were not allowed to call a grown man boy.
For good reason. Yeah.
So when I got in the blues business, which was by accident, but when I got in the blues business, everybody was talking about Honey Boy Edwards. And I'm like, who the hell, who is Honey Boy Edwards? And then when they showed me a picture, I said, oh, no, that's Mr. Honey Man.
Right.
You know, because you get caught calling a grown man anything other than Mr. So-and-so, Mr. So-and-so, or Mrs. So-and-so, you regretted that. Yeah, you regretted that.
Yeah. Now, did your mom play blues records?
All the time.
Uh-huh.
I had another interview and I was telling them, I know when my mom never talked about my father or his family much.
Right.
Okay. Because my mom was pregnant when my father died, and the rumors were swirling that I was not none of his. And she wouldn't let me go around the people. My brother and sister, she let go. But she would let me go around them. And I was always asking, Mom, why I can't go? Why I can't go? So when I got up to be about 17, I've kept begging to go. My father's brother's wife passed away, and I kept begging to go, so she let me go down and said, all right, go ahead. When I went down south, it was me, my brother, my Uncle Pete, my brother Wolf, my nephew Tyrone. And when we get down south and they introduced us and say, this is H.S. son, John, this is H.S. grandson, Tyrone, and this is Hank. That's what they call me.
Oh, you were
call
Hank?
Me Hank.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always been Hank.
Now, how old were you when you first time you went down south?
I was 17.
Okay.
I was 17 years old. And, I was scratching my head a little bit, but, okay. Then when I got 21, I went into a tavern called Woods in the neighborhood, and my Uncle Pete, my Aunt Mary, and my Aunt Azel was in there. And
this is in Mississippi?
No, this is in Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah. And when I went to the tavern, my Aunt Azel said, Lord have mercy. I thought you was Dane's son. you look more and more like HS all the while. And I'm like, Dan was my stepfather.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't come along till I was maybe 4, 5 years old.
Right.
All right. And I actually stopped talking to her, because she the first one that literally just outright came across, like you wasn't none of your father's son.
Oh, okay.
So, and I went to my first family reunion in 1995, and she apologized, and I'm sorry, blah blah blah, and I said okay, because she asked my Uncle Pete why Hank won't talk to me. So you ain't none of my auntie. Why should I talk to you?
Right.
So we got straight after that, and then DNA really topped the cake. I'm true Wilson all the way.
Right. So you have that done.
Yeah, and I met a lot of my people now.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Then did you say you did you did an Ancestry.com kind of thing? Right?
Yeah, I did Ancestry.com, and I did Heritage, My Heritage.
Right.
Yes.
That's fascinating, man.
Yeah.
And you found out you have DNA all over the world.
Hey, man, we like horse mess everywhere. I've got cousins in Denmark that was a war baby.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yes, man.
That is so wild.
And she was in the same position I'm in, just trying to find out where she belonged, because she was born in 1945 in Germany, and by being mixed race, they had to get her out of Germany. And she grew up in France, and so she married a guy in Denmark, and right now the name is evading me. But her name is Anna Laurie something. And so her husband got in touch. She don't talk English. And he got in touch with us. And, through the DNA match. And I talked with her. I sent her some songs and stuff,
That's amazing.
And now I can't book a gig in Denmark. I've been wanting to go see it.
Oh, you
And
will.
I have been to Denmark. No, I have been to Denmark 3 times.
Have you?
Yeah. And now, nothing's coming from that way. I said, when I get a chance, I'm gonna come see you.
Well, you will.
Yeah.
You'll get something.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing about how that works is a lot of times it's a matter of time.
Yeah.
You're going to put time between stuff.
Yeah.
So the other thing is you were telling me one of your uncles, I think, used to play blues records for you. Like, wasn't there an uncle that played like Can't Hold That Much Longer or something?
No, that was my Uncle Gene.
Okay.
Uncle Gene was hobo.
Oh. Okay.
And Uncle Gene, sometimes I do this tribute to him along with the Joe Patterson Trio. Mm-hmm. And I do this tribute to him, Hobo Blues. And when Uncle Gene would come and he would leave, next thing you wouldn't see him, he'd come back. And my mother would always clean him up, and he'd get a job. And the last time that he left, it's like she knew she wasn't going to see him no more. And she would play that song,
Can't Hold That Much Longer?
No, when I Hobo Blues.
Oh, Hobo Blues. Is that John Lee?
Yeah. Okay. And Can't Hold On Much Longer was a record Uncle Gene would come in. Now, where he got money from, I don't know, sometimes he would work, but he always had a handful of quarters and things. He would come in and he would start drinking. Play that song for me. Play that song. Little Walter, play that song for me.
Right.
And he'd give us money to keep playing it and playing it. And that was the first song. Like I said, I play a little harmonica, but that's the first song I learned on harmonica.
Yeah.
And, I think of him about that and I Can't Quit You, Baby, by Lil Milk.
Right.
He would pay us to play those songs over and over and over.
Interesting.
Yeah, but he said he knew Walter.
Wow. What a trip.
And he said Walter was a humbug.
What's that mean?
A humbug. A humbug. Fight all the time. It was easy to,
It's called a humbugger?
Yeah, humbugger.
So that's what humbugging means?
Yeah.
Humbugging means?
Oh,
okay. I didn't know that, man.
He said he was a humbugger, man.
Yeah.
And
I've heard that too. He always wanted to fight.
Yeah. Henry Gray said the same thing. He just did everything fast.
Yeah. Including life.
Yeah, he did. He did it fast.
He didn't live long, man.
Yeah.
So Do you have a favorite blues singer, or is it really just across the spectrum?
No, I love all blues, from all genres, genres, yeah. But I'm really partial to Lighting Hopkins because, like I said, my mother never talked about my dad. I didn't even know, I just knew a few of his people because they came around my mother, my Uncle Curtis, my Aunt Louie, would always, still come around, and Uncle Pete would drive through now and then. But, where the hell was I going with this? Wait a minute, what did you just say?
We were talking about blues,
right?
Different genres.
Right. And my oldest brother, Billy, he would say the type of music Lighting Hopkins played, that's the way Daddy played.
Ah, okay.
And I could tell when she was thinking about him, because it would be a Lighting Hopkins day. She would work. See, she never worked. She was just a mother raising kids. Right. That's all she knew.
Yeah.
And she would be in the kitchen on Friday or something, preparing, food and stuff, and Lighting Hopkins would be on. And my earliest memory of a blues song is Lighting Hopkins. Yeah. And he was my favorite. I didn't get the chance to meet him. But a lot of times on the albums I do, I always have a lightning style
tune in there. Yeah. Now, he played guitar?
My dad?
Played guitar and sang.
Yeah.
What did Henry Gray tell you about him?
He just said he remember him. See, my dad, he played mostly on the west side, although we lived on the south side.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, and Henry Gray said, I remember HS, I remember him. Played the guitar,
What a trip.
So, and then I got a few family members that I met started telling me about him a little bit, And, it's just, he had said that he wrote a tune for Nat King Cole. I never saw any papers on it, but that's what they said, that he did some of his music. Yeah.
Wow.
And
so, the interesting thing about you is, you're such a great blues singer, but you're just such a great singer, period. You can really sing. I've heard you sing almost everything. I have. I've heard you sing R&B and soul stuff, and I think you guys were singing some rock and roll songs at one point in the van one time. You really kind of, you take it all in.
Well, I was caught in the middle of music progress.
Right.
Because I'm the youngest of 9 children.
Right.
And my mother and father stopped having kids for 8 years. And then my brother Harvey came along, and my sister Carol, and then me. Mm-hmm. And so my oldest sister, Mary, Hattie, Roy, Billy, and Wolf and them, see, they came through the era where they had blues, they had Motown, they had Do Wops, they had all that. So I heard all of this.
You heard all of it.
And music, it's been the only thing I could actually do. I couldn't play ball.
Yeah.
And my brothers were legends.
Right. Ball players?
Really? Okay. And one of my brothers was a boxer.
Wow.
And a pimp. I must add that. Hey, he was cold-blooded. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, he's the one you told me about.
Yeah, and my brother Wolf taught me more or less to be a man. My mother taught me to be a man because I didn't get anything easy.
Yeah.
She would, me and my sister go to the same school. I had to walk. She would get my sister car fare. I understand that reasoning now, but back then, I didn't understand, and I prayed to my mother, for some things I said, that I didn't understand, but I understand as a man, I didn't understand growing up.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it hurt me once I got to be a man that I even thought that way. So I tried to build my children that character of understanding that a man has got to get it.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Lunch, when I went to high school, lunch was 42 cents. She gave me a quarter.
Wow.
And when I got there, I had to learn to shoot dice, play penny pool, get like me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I lost that quarter.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes I won a little more. But that taught me to get it. And my brother, John, which we called him Wolf, and he was a big bad wolf, trust me. And we called him Wolf, Mark, and he would, when my mother died, I really wasn't ready for manhood. Although I had a son, but I wasn't ready to take on manly things.
Right.
And I lost that girl. We had 2 babies together. I lost her. But he would tell me, he would come in the house 2 o'clock, drunk as hell. And 4 o'clock, he was going to work. He said, anything you do and it stops you from taking care of your family, then you need to stop it.
Right.
You know, and you got to go out and get it. You know, and that's how my mother.
So you pretty much always had some kind of day work to make things.
Yeah, and then sometimes I couldn't buy a job.
Right.
You know, I couldn't buy a job. 74, I tried to join the Army.
Mm-hmm.
They turned me down because I don't have peripheral vision.
Right.
You know, I don't see well.
Mm-hmm.
Never did. But that was my last straw. And then I went to gigoloing for a little while. Mm-hmm. You know, playing some old ladies.
You said your brother got you into that.
Yeah, my brother Billy. I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
But my brother Billy Wilson, he called himself Black Billy Wilson, neat in the waist and cute in the face. And look, he had this persona that when he walked in the room, women just went Google Gaga over this guy. Yeah. You know, and it's the truth. So I wrote a song about, he told me one time, I'm not gonna mention the woman name because she's still living, but he told me one time I had got evicted out of one of my places that I was staying. And I came to his house, I said, hey Bill, can I stay over for a couple of days? He said, yeah, little bro, you can stay a couple of days, but I'm pimping this bitch, I'm not gonna let you pepper too. He said, come here, little bro. So you see that fat girl over there? He was down the front. He said, fat girl over there? He said, go over there and tell her I'll be, what's our apartment? What's our building number? Then ask her, what's our apartment number? And you tell her, I'll be back at 6 o'clock. I want some fried pork chops, French fries, and a half a gallon of gin. And I looked at him. And, he had this look here again. Do it. I went over there and did it. I ain't never needed a place to stay since.
Right. Never
he taught me. But what he was teaching me, he said, sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do, but sometimes that thing you have to do.
Right. To keep a roof over your
head. He said, you need a place to stay, and you can't stay with me.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And I taught my sons the same things. Man, I love you. But get you one of them. Nothing against big women. I love you big women now.
But they know how to cook.
They know how to cook. And I always talk about it when I'm singing. Yeah. I don't down you.
Right.
But you know how to make a man feel like a man.
Right.
Right. And my hypocrisy goes so far. I love all women. But, when a man needs a place to stay in a hurry, his best chance.
Well, I remember one time I asked Jimmy Rogers, I said, I heard Lil Walter was a pimp. He goes, no, he wasn't no pimp. He goes, but when a woman wants to buy you things, you let her buy you things. You want to let you live there, live there. That was how he explained it.
Yeah, and I've never needed a place since.
Right.
But I always said after that, I got to have my own place. Because I didn't like getting put out.
Right.
Either. So, but he taught me, like I said, he taught me a lot about life. And my brother Wolf taught me about life. Mm-hmm. My brother Harvey, he was a different animal.
So how many siblings do you got?
I had 5 sisters and 3 brothers.
5 sisters. Wow, that's a big family. And then you have quite a few kids as well.
Yeah, I got 12.
12 kids, and
well, yeah, 12.
And then you got grandkids. Like,
oh man, I got about maybe 50 something.
How many?
Maybe 50 something grandkids.
50 something.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I got 7th grade. Is 7th grade, and more coming on the way.
That's amazing. Yeah.
You know, I don't know their names, man. Come here, kid. And they can't all be in the same place at the same time.
I've seen pictures of your kids.
I love them, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I love them. And I love, like I say, I didn't have my father, and I did my best, although my children are by different women.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And it's not something I'm proud of, it's just a hand like
This is what happened, yeah.
You know, but each one of them knows that I love them madly.
Right.
You
And
know?
that's all that matters.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So, tell me about now you spent some time down south, is that right? Where is it? You went Jackson? Or?
Yeah, I was in a place called Raymond, Mississippi. Snake Creek, they call it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And
is that near Jackson?
Yeah, it's about, I think it says 18 miles west of Jackson, some kind of way. I don't know. I went down there long enough to really, but everything is right outside Jackson when you go to Mississippi. Mm-hmm. You know. Yeah. But I had some enjoyable times down there, and which I really dug it. But the pay wasn't commensurate with what I was making up here. Right. And I was working like 3 jobs, and it still wasn't enough. And my wife at the time, Gwen, she was working, you know, and I was having these problems, you know, with one of her aunts, that house bill, and she was making us pay for it like it was ours. And, right. You know, man, but, you know, that was bad. But as far as the rest of it, you know, her moms and all them, they were really nice to me, you know, but, you know, it didn't work.
Now, is that when you worked at the mental hospital?
Yeah, that's when I worked at Mississippi State Hospital.
That's a hell of a story.
In Rankin County. Man, it was, you know, well, the guys in there, they done killed everybody in the house just because they were there. You know, and man, some things happened in there, man.
That's what you were saying,
Yeah, you know, it's like, it's a jail. It's jail cell. Yeah. And I was required to walk down that Green Mile every 15 minutes. Wow. So you know some of the things were going on. If I heard them saying no, I'd have to say something to them. But if they ain't saying that, I keep it walking. Right. You know, because them guys have strength like you never seen.
That's what you were saying, yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
You know.
And what was the name of the squad that would get them under control?
Oh, the Doom Squad.
The Doom Squad, yeah.
Yeah, man. They have to send, you know, and I worked at quite a few mental institutions had that, even one at Cali.
Now, did you ever work up in Illinois?
Yeah, at the Cali Center.
Okay.
Now, the Cali Center is where I really got my learning on, because it was like a big community. I think it was like 10 houses. Was
that before Mississippi?
That was after Mississippi.
After Mississippi, okay.
And man, look, the things that go on. There was this one cat, can't call his name, but he was a big dude, and I was just getting to work, and they say, "Hey, Oscar, come to the A building, administration building. Be down here throwing them alley apples, you know, rocks, big bricks.
Right,
He was throwing them and busting them windows out. Bing! Right. Bing! And you know, the thing is, a lot of people do that kind of work just for the money. Right. But I truly dug it, man. Yeah. It was, you know, and you know, and you get to loving people, but you're supposed to read people's files. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people would just set them off just so they wouldn't have to go to the dance and different things. Right. But I'm down there, and Brandy, big dude, man, and he's whooping them. Whoop, bing, ling, ling, whoop, bing, ling. And they sent for the Doom Squad. And that was with all us big guys. Right. We got to go get it. But it wasn't even like it. All I did was went down there, Brandy. And he had this thing, he would chew it in his mouth and spit blood on him. So, you know.
How did he do that?
I don't know how he did
it. Probably cut his lip.
Yeah, he'd be doing something.
Yeah. Right.
And I just go to Brandy. You know, he was didn't talk. Right. And, Brandy. Mama, Papa, come on, let's go get some cookies.
Wow.
And that's all it took. You know what I mean? But they blow it up.
Yeah.
You know, and when I left,
they make it worse than it has.
Yeah, when I left, Mark, it was some people hated to see me go because I had them doing things. You know, like I tell the guys, I even worked at Joliet Penitentiary. You know, state penitentiary. Don't make my day hard. I ain't here to, you ain't enough.
Right.
I'm just trying to go home and feed my babies. Right. I'm not here to give you a hard time. Don't give me one. Yeah. We good.
Yeah.
You know?
I think basically what you're talking about is a recipe for life.
For life, man. You
are,
know,
man.
And I never had problems out. I had problems out of the people. One guy was in there. His sister came and I'm doing the books. There's two of us in the house. One guy's giving him showers. One guy doing the books. So it's my turn to do the books. And this chick comes in, take my brother in the back. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. She said, oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are. No, ma'am. Philip's back there. Oh, I didn't mean to call it. Guy's back there. And he'll put Richard to bed. No, you're going to put him to bed. I say, bull corn. I'm not going to do it. And she reported me. Jeez. And I told him then, I said, hey, she come again, I ain't gonna do it again. Yeah. You know, it wasn't my turn to do it. Right. You know, and they gave me 1 day off. That was the only thing I had, you know. I know 1 day off. You know, come on, man. I mean, you know, but this dude, Daddy was an important guy. Right. You know, in the town. Yeah. You know, I don't know if he worked for Baxter Industries or Abbott Industries, medical stuff. He was a vice president or something. Like, man, they'd give me some punishment, I guess. But hey, I really did. Most of them people, Oscar, you got to go. My son, he's doing things he's never done. You know, because I read the file and I watch people, you know. Yeah. I watch people. Yeah. Because I'm from 43rd Street, y'all. Must say that. 43rd and Wells. 4349 South Wells, which they call the low end. And you have to be aware of your environment. You know, and I'm always looking. Right. You know. But like I said, you know, people that just make money, you know, but I made my job fun. When they see me coming, they come Oscar. Yeah. You know, I play the harmonica to get y'all a little bit for them, and we sing and stuff. Yeah. They're like, oh, he come That's Oscar, great. You know? That's great. And their parents, Oscar, you gotta go. You know, one more story. Yeah, this one guy. Okay, yeah, they said this is supposed to be a family setting. You know, when you make their breakfast, or you make their lunch or dinner, it's in a family setting at a table. Right. You know, and we were one night we got up and this guy Richard he got up and he like cookie, and this one dude goes no, you know. So I didn't say nothing, you know. And he'd go back and Richard would spin. You know, he would start whirling and he'd whirl down the hall hitting his head. You know, wow. Flowing blood everywhere, you know. Jeez. And I looked at dude, I'm like, he go, cookie. He come back, cookie. And dude said, no. I said, you know what, man? If you were in your house, this is supposed to be a house setting. You in your house and you got up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you want some cookies, you get some cookies. Get a man some cookies, God. You know what I mean? How big a deal is it? Yeah. You ain't paying for this stuff. Just think about this. Right. You know, and that's what, you know, kind of got me out of it because I'm too soft-hearted. But it's treating people like you want to be treated. Exactly. You know, like I told you, I'm a fair man. Yeah. Treat me fair. Right. You know? I ain't interested in what you do with that guy over there, what he said about treat me, Oscar. Right. Fair. Yeah. Treat me fair, man. And I found out you ain't treating me fair. Now we got a problem. Right. You know, but I ain't never gave you a hard time. You know, and it's not me. I've been poor. I know how to be poor. Right. And that's an interesting thing you bring up, the whole thing of there's so many people in the world that just don't have a clue about what that's like and how to basically survive on very little. Yeah, my mother, you know, we used to get food from the welfare store. Yeah. Which was a big can of peanut butter. Right. Big bags of Popeye cereal, puff cereal, cheese, powdered cheese, powdered milk. And my mother had us flour, meal. My mother would make us homemade biscuits every day.
That sounds just like that song.
And gravy.
Sounds just like that song.
What?
Going down to the welfare store.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, and my son got some kids at his house, my oldest son, and they talking about, you know, this kid want this. When my mother cooked, you ate that, but she tell you get a big glass of water and carry your ass to bed.
Right.
This is all we got.
Yeah.
And she would always say, take as much as you want, but eat what you take.
Right.
You know, because we had nothing to throw away.
Right. That's how my family was like that.
Yeah, and his kids were coming in, they had all this food and their canned goods and stuff. Coming in, we ain't got nothing to eat.
Right.
Look at that. I see a Smarties boiled up in here. I see spam. I see corned beef hash. I see
stuff that you can eat.
Woo!
Yeah.
Say, man, so we know we spoil these kids. And like I say, if it come down to some kind of pandemic measures like that, kids gonna catch hell because we eat coon, rabbit, squirrel, you know, anything. We never could afford catfish for somebody my mom knew would go catfishing. And they would bring her these big catfish heads and she would make a stew. There's a lot of meat up in the head of them catfish. Yeah. You know, and we only ate cheap fish, jack salmon, which they call whiting now, and silver bass. Mm-hmm. You know, that's all. We couldn't afford that other fish. So, you know, I know how to be poor, so it don't bother me. Yeah. You know, I don't want to be poor. Right. But, you know, if I did, I know how to make it. I know how to eat beans every day. Right. You know, and make hot water cornbread because I ain't got no milk. I ain't got no butter. Right. I make it work. Yeah. Homemade pancakes. Yeah. You know, my mother would make syrup, preserves. She buy bushel basket, taught us how to peel. Right. You know, and she peel it and she make preserve. I didn't get no Smuckers till I was in high school. Right. Oh, wow. What's that other stuff? Welch's stuff? Oh, yeah, Welch's, yeah. Yeah, man. We had to run home for lunch to powder milk and tea cakes. Yeah. You know, I never ate in the lunchroom in school. Wow. In the grammar school. I had to run home. Yeah. Is that because they would charge you? Yeah, because they charged and didn't have it. Yeah. I didn't have money for milk in kindergarten. I remember just as good. There was a girl named Geraldine. I don't remember her last name, but she was, you know, I'm calling her my little girlfriend. And she would give me half of her cookie and half of her milk. Yeah. Then all of a sudden she disappeared. I don't know where she went. And I'm always up there. I feel Geraldine, if you remember living on 43rd and Wells, get in contact with me, girl. I got nothing but love for you. Because I would sit and cry. Yeah. You be in that circle and you paid, they give you, you know. Yeah. You didn't have it. That's heavy, man. Yeah, man. That's the stuff that sticks with you, huh? Hey, man, you know, it does, man. And back then, the neighborhood, though, it's like I tell people, I was telling you about the food, you know, and when you asked me to have pistol, I never had that. And I called my wife and told her to get right on it because I dug it. But remember, I said I get a little bit. My mother said, don't go to nobody's house and pile your plate up because you might not like it. Right. And, you know, then you're wasting food. Right. Yeah. And then I said, oh, damn, this is what's up. and I got on the phone and I texted my wife and she did her homework. Yeah. So when I get in, I'm going to get some pesto pasta. Good, man. Well, I lucked out because my wife loves to cook and she knows how to cook. There's so many things in the last 20-something years that I've, you know, started to really enjoy, you know, the taste of. Right. But, you know, to get food right, you have to go to the domestic house, you know, because when you go to these restaurants, it's even so, you know, you gotta get it right. Yeah. You know, and that's why I say, you know, I go to a lot of restaurants and the chain, they get so big, it sucks. You know, but you go to somebody's house that know what they're doing, man, you get your eat on. It's everything. As far as I'm concerned, man, you know, being on the road as long as I've been, I don't like to eat at restaurants. Mm-hmm. I just don't like it. I so much would rather eat at home, you know. Well, I'm giving you an open invitation. When you come to Chicago, you let me know before you get there. Well, thank you. My wife, Felicia, Wilson, She likes it. Felicia Russell Wilson. She loves to cook. She cooks the best chicken you ever had.
Yeah.
Trust me. And if you come there, you let me know how many coming.
Okay.
She'll be more than happy.
Beautiful.
To cook you a real soul food dinner.
Yeah. Great. Well, tell me a little about. I mean, I know you've been through a lot over the last 10 years or so. Huh?
Yeah.
In terms of your health and stuff.
Yeah.
And right now, everything's looking good.
Yeah, it's looking good. You know, other than the bills, and they come, and I understand how I had, Obamacare and I had Blue Cross Blue Shield, but I still have, they don't pay for it all. And I've had so many different procedures.
Right.
And it really mount up. And I'm going to send a shout out to Joe Nosak. I didn't ask him to put no GoFundMe up there, but he know my problem. Right. I never would have done it. And thank you to those who donated to it.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
I really appreciate it. And Joe, thank you.
Yeah.
And
Joe and you have been working together for, 15 years, something like that?
It's since 2008, something like that.
Okay.
Believe me, it ain't all been good, because we are like two married women.
That's how it is in a band.
Couple.
That's how it is in a band, especially when it's a partnership band.
Yeah, man.
That's normal, man.
But I gotta say, his children are my godchildren. I love them.
That's beautiful.
And especially one of them, I call him Dennis the Menace. I taught him how to fish and talk stuff. Now he's almost as good as me. He think he's good as me. But I don't get a chance to fish, so he catches them big bass and stuff. Yeah. Hey, Uncle Oscar, what about this? Can you do this?
Right.
Marco, I'm coming.
Well, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
you guys have had, and you've really had a pretty solid group of musicians. Kenny Smith in there.
Yeah.
Pretty much since the beginning, right?
Yeah, Kenny, Joe,
Billy Flynn's been in there pretty much since the beginning. And I mean, you're talking Joel Patterson, you're talking really great musicians.
Oh yeah.
Really class, top shelf guys.
Yes, it has been, man. And it's been, a ride that I really didn't it wasn't my intention to ever be a blues singer. It was all divine intervention, I think. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But now that I'm here, I was born for this.
Yeah.
I really was.
Yeah. Well, you're a force to be reckoned with, Oscar. I gotta say, man, you got one of those voices that you just don't hear very often.
Yeah.
It's a very rare thing to hear a guy. And I mean, I heard it from the first time I heard you. I'm serious. I heard it from the first time I heard you. I heard you have this thing. It's the same thing Billy's got on the guitar.
Yeah.
You have this thing of being able to channel whoever's song you're doing that is so on it and so in the moment and in the man's style, whether it's Muddy or Otis Rush or B.B. King or Muddy Waters, Howling Wolf. It doesn't matter. Jimmy Reed, Lil Walter, you channel those guys' sound.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about you and Billy as a combination, because you guys we
work well together.
You really work well together, and you guys really both have that thing in what you do. And it's very special. And it's like most people that know blues, they know how rare that is.
Yeah, well, Billy was the first one called me a human jukebox.
You are, man.
Yeah, but
both of you are.
I tell people I done forgot more than you ever know.
Yeah.
Like sometimes my mind, getting a little older, it's not as fast and as sharp as it was. But I tell Billy, play something. Then okay, I know what that is.
He plays it and you sing.
Yeah. I said, okay. I know what it is now.
It's pretty fantastic.
I know what that is now.
And I mean, you guys have that record deal with Blind Pig. I think, how many was it? 2 or 3 on Blind Pig?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And
then you've done at least 2 on Alligator, or is that 3?
I think it's 3 on Alligator.
Yeah. So, and being on Alligator, being on Blind Pig, that's a big deal in the blues world. If you can get on those labels. that was distribution. It was airplay.
Yeah.
And, you know, you guys have been overseas, right?
Yeah.
You've been overseas a number of times. So, you know, the thing is, people need to get hip to Oscar Wilson and the Cashbox Kings, just like Billy Flynn and guys like who I'm going to interview next, Joe Beard. I mean, you know, you guys should be on all the friggin' festivals.
We should be, but, you know, it's not coming like that. But you know something? Billy Flynn, you may not see him up front, but on most Del Mar, Alligator, whatever, he's in there.
He's on so many records.
In there.
Him and Duke Robillard are the two most recorded blues guitar players.
Right. And he's not a forgotten treasure, a treasure don't nobody give a lot of credit to. But Billy, he doesn't have to be out front. No. But he's the man, how you say that, makes it all come together.
He supports.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he holds it up, man.
And I ain't just pulling his chain. The guy's fantastic.
No, I've known, I want to say me and Billy go back to like 1986 I first met him. So, you know, I mean, I've known him a long damn time and we got tight right away. And I've been recording with him, I want to say, since 1996.
Wow.
So, you know, I mean, he's somebody that as soon as we met, it was like we were like that.
Oh,
we could talk. We drive everyone in the van nuts because all we do is talk about blues records, you know, and blues cats and blues stories.
You know, I never knew the stuff I listened to y'all because I never knew, I never heard like this. Oscar, you know, you sound like Jimmy Rogers. No, I don't. I sound like me, who happen to sound like Jimmy Rogers.
Right.
But I never knew who Jimmy Rogers was. All, you know, the background, all those Eddie Taylor. And I didn't know nothing about it.
You sure? How'd you get the sound so close?
Because I listened. It was in my house. Yeah. And I'm always saying, but you know, they've always told me you can't sing. And I'm like, I don't care. Yeah. But I know the songs. Yeah. And I always, you know, I walk and sing and, you know, in the neighborhood, they call me happy, you know. Because, I mean, I am a happy person. Right. You know, I'm a Libra. I'm well balanced. And unless you tip it, you know, it takes a lot to tip my scale to make me, you know, go off. But I love this business. I love my job that I do, you know, and if I could do this without getting paid and I could afford to do it, I could do it for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think
that's how much I love it.
I think that's really the bottom line of being a musician or a singer. To me, that's the bottom line.
You gotta love it, man.
We do it because we absolutely have to do it.
And you guys have put me up on some. What was that? Big Feet Joe or whatever you put me up on yesterday.
What was that?
Big Creek somebody?
Oh, Big Creek Slim. Yeah, Big Creek Slim.
You know, like I said, you never know everything.
Right.
You never stop learning. Don't get to the point, you young guys, that you think you know it all.
Right.
You don't know it all.
Because you don't.
You never will.
And there's too many cats out there that are either great now or were great back in the day.
And you better believe it.
Yeah.
Hey, and I just heard this guy, what did I say?
Big Creek Slim.
What did I say?
You said he's a bad MF.
He's a bad.
And he is. Yeah.
And I immediately downloaded some stuff because I got to get on it.
Right.
You know.
And this guy's from Denmark and you know, he speaks good English and all that, but
and he's a white guy.
And to hear somebody in Denmark, like, I mean, I just literally walked up and started listening to him and I just went, holy.
But he's a white guy.
Yeah, I know. And a Danish white guy.
I didn't hear white when I heard.
I know. He doesn't sound white. No, he sounds like Mississippi.
Get on him. Yeah. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he sure is.
Big
Creek Slim.
Big Creek Slim.
I'll tell Big Creek Slim he's in this video.
You tell him and tell him I'll say he the man.
I will tell him.
And when I get to Denmark with my kinfolk, I gotta see him.
Yeah. Well, my friend Fido from Can't Eat, I gave him Big Creek's information. He's gonna go visit him.
Can't Eat?
Over there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the drummer in Can't Eat.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you know, he played with Alan Wilson, and Alan Wilson was like, he was totally like that.
Let me say something before it's time.
Go ahead.
California, I love you. And I thank Mark Hummel for having me out here. I hope he had me out here again.
You know I will, buddy.
And I appreciate you, man. I appreciate
you.
Alligator Records. Go alligatorrecords.com or cashboxkings.com. Pick up Oscar's Motel. Girls, you want to stop by and visit. Open 24 hours a day. Thank you, Bruce Iglauer.
All right.